My name is Kevin Cmiel, retired colonel. I served in the Army for almost 35 years. I'm originally from Corey, Pennsylvania, and for the last 20-some years I've lived here in Peachtree, Cornish, Georgia. I did 1 year at Penn State, was in engineering in 1982. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. They had all these be all you can be commercials on TV. I needed a college fund. I needed a way to pay for college. I wanted out of a small town, and I thought the Army would be a good way to do it. It'd be a good way to have, serve my country and get a chance to taste it. So I signed up for 2 years with the expectation I would do my 2 years of active duty, get the college fund, and I would get out. And years later, I started to enjoy it, and there were some things I didn't like about it, some things about the rules I didn't like, and I thought the only way that I could change it was by becoming an officer. So I went to officer candidate school. I went to the Pennsylvania National Guard Military Academy, their officer candidate school, and out of 128 started, 54 finished, and I graduated first in my class. So I was offered an active duty commission in the Army at that time. It was tradition to offer the first in class active duty, but at the time I was in my 20s, and I thought, who knows where I'm going to be in a couple years, so I just stayed in the reserve side. Shortly after being commissioned, was called up, served in the first Gulf War. I was a platoon leader in the truck company, first Gulf War, came back, variety of other assignments, took some more challenging assignments, primarily in the training and logistical fields, and near the end of my career, went on active duty, Army Material Command in Alabama, and was fortunate that through hard work, some good assignments, I was able to get selected for a colonel slot, and I did my last 3 years with Army Material Command. Of the 35 years, proudest moment probably would be bringing all my soldiers back from the Gulf War. The only injuries we had, a couple hamstrings from softball, one guy fell off a truck, nothing more serious, and we were in some situations, we were around even chemical munitions, depleted uranium stuff. We hauled POWs, so we were around, enemy combatants. Mortars, some missiles, Scud missiles came in, were shot down above us, and through all of that, everybody made it home safely. We'd had good training, people did what they were supposed to do, and I took everybody back home. In terms of if I were going to give advice to anyone younger about, considering joining the military, it's a question that's come up several times. I get questions all the time when friends of my daughters find out I was in and they come and talk to me. And first of all, I would clearly recommend it. I mean, although it's not for everyone, for most, I think when you're that age, it's very easy to go, I don't know what I want to do with the rest of my life, and I'm not sure that ever really goes away, but you need to pick something positive and something worth going after. You can do your time and be done later, but you can't change your mind at the end of your life and go, I wish I would have done something, with some meaning and something that, I could be proud of and have some honor. There's nothing wrong with doing it for the benefits. The pay and benefits are good. You can earn yourself pay for college, which is what I did. There's nothing wrong with that. And the majority of people that get in actually realize that, there's an honor to what you're doing, and there's a brotherhood with the people around you, and you really don't want to leave them. I've only been out for a little over a year, and I miss it already. And that was 34 years. If you go in, you can do it and be done at the end of your enlistment, or you can find it's something that fits you and you have something that will have meaning for life. What meant the most to me about my service was probably just the feeling that knowing that I'm part of something bigger than myself. I mean, there are times when I did some really good things and things work out. There was times that I would have to redo a presentation 7 times because a general didn't like the font. But each of those times I still did my best and still did my job well, because all of those pieces that everybody does, they all fit together to make the military, the Army, and all the military what it is. So even if you're just looking at one task in front of you or one thing in front of you and you think, well, this is nothing to be proud of, you have to just know that it's part of something bigger than yourself. I think in order to be successful in the Army probably isn't much different in being successful anywhere. Part of it is just you do have to work and apply yourself. Another part of it is, I think, knowing that you're far better working with others around you. You have to be part of a team. no matter what you're doing, whether it's a sports team, whether it's a military team doing something, whether even if you're staff, you're better when you combine your skills and when you combine your perspectives, your ways of looking at things with others. You know, the saying, no man is an island, is true. You can't be, don't try to be the superstar. Be the person who works well with others, plays well with others, because together you can get a lot more done. Years from now, if someone were to see my brick and see my name, there's very little specific that I would really want them to know or care to know, other than, I cared enough to serve that long. Again, with technically 34.9 years of service, I was a little bit short of the 35th year. I must have loved it, and it was a sense of doing something bigger than just me. I mean, I was a part of something great. I wasn't always at the front. I didn't do it for glory. I didn't do it anything else. But I did it to be part of service to my country, and at the same time, as a reservist for most of the 25 of those years were reserve, 10 active. But I was with my family, so I was always very proud of being the dual role of being hopefully a good father and a good husband, while also being a good soldier. One thing that doesn't get said enough probably, but for the people in the military, certainly people in the reserves, one thing that is important to all of us is the support of our family. I've been gone 7 out of the last 18 years that my daughters were growing up, and the whole time my daughters were supportive, my wife was supportive, but if they had been anything less, or if they'd not been proud of me and supportive of what I've done, I couldn't have focused and done my job. And although my name's on that brick, I think it's important for people to realize that for everyone out there, they had a family behind them that let them do their job and focused and gave them a reason to come home. So I just want to say thank you to my wife, Susan, and daughters, Emily and Jessica.